Welcome to Catholic Mom Mindset, a daily show where you learn to walk closely with the Holy Spirit so you can live the life God is calling you to. I'm your host, Sterling Jaquith. Let us begin. Change begins with hope. This week we are talking about hope because it's the first week of Advent. And when I designed Masters and the process that we would take women through to change their lives, I wanted to create a success path for them, kind of a step-by-step, this is what's going to happen. And I hemmed and hawed for a long time about whether hope comes first or whether awareness comes first. And in the end, I really decided that hope comes first. And just recently I saw a post, an Advent-related post that says, everything new begins with hope. And I thought, yeah, that's true, because here's what happens. Darkness sets in, sin sets in, the world sets in, whatever's going on for you, big or little things, okay? But in order to even step on the path of change, in order to even read one book or do one thought download, you have to have hope that things can get better. And it's like this spark that comes from inside of us, which I'm sure comes from the Holy Spirit. But change begins with hope. Hope that something could be better. And it could be your reaction to what's going on around you. It could be that you could change the circumstances. But hope comes first. And I think that's so beautiful because I decided this, the mindset cycle that I teach in Masters outside of the season of Advent. And so as I was preparing for this and knowing that I wanted to talk about hope this week, I just thought, yeah, it's so beautiful that it comes first. And there have been so many times in my life, like last week, not just generally, but all the time, where my human brain convinces me that I'm stuck, that I'll always be here, that it'll never get better. And it could be little things like not knowing how to make mashed potatoes, right? It could be little things like that where I'm like, oh gosh, for, 37 years, I've been not great at making mashed potatoes. And I can allow myself to just sit in the hopelessness of not being good at something like that. I'm just stuck in the darkness. There's like this phase 0 of darkness. And then it just takes hope. And I love the image of a candle for that. We just have to light that candle in the darkness. We don't see the steps yet. We don't have the answers. But hope is just lighting that candle in the darkness. And then in Masters, in the mindset cycle, I teach that after we have hope, we believe that things can get better. Then we go to awareness, which is we kind of pick our head up and we look around and we go, oh, where are we at? Because we've got to know where we're at in order to make a plan to move forward. And so with the example of mashed potatoes, I might just be like, yeah, I take them out too early or I'm overcooking them. I feel like it's one or the other. I'm either overcooking them and then they're like kind of gummy, or I undercook them and then they're lumpy. You guys, this is a totally solvable problem. Now, I may still choose not to put the effort into solving it, but for sure, the internet has answers on how to make the perfect mashed potatoes, which, by the way, I imagine is different based on the type of potatoes that you're cooking. I also don't know that. I cook all the potatoes the same, the russets and the golds and the reds. My husband does the sweet potatoes. I don't do those. And I'm using this example of potatoes because it is a little silly, but the mindset cycle is the same. The growth cycle, the change cycle, we've got to have hope and then awareness. Then there's other steps after that. But I'm clinging to this too for some challenging things that are going on in my extended family, where it just feels like darkness. It feels like being pulled under the water. It feels like being like wrapped in a dark, wet blanket. And these are not things that are happening to me. They're just happening to people that I love, but it's so painful to watch other people go through trials. And so paying attention to when you're in phase 0, that darkness phase, and All you've got to do is light the candle. And the candle is always the Lord. Hope always comes from God. He is the only reason to have hope. And you can have hope in salvation. You can have hope in divine mercy. You can have hope that God gave you this brain and you're a problem solver, that God created this incredible world and we have all of these tools. There's many different versions of having hope, but they all come from the Lord. And if you're struggling with hope, you can pray, Lord, give me hope. Help me have hope here. We just got to light that candle. That's step number 1. So all week we're going to be talking about hope. But hope is the first step to change. If you're in that phase 0 in the darkness and you're like, I just don't see a way out, I don't have any idea, I want you to know that you don't need to. The first step is not problem solving. That's the second step. The first step is just having hope. And in fact, it's pretty impossible to change without that, without hope that things are going to get better. If you believe that things aren't going to get better, your problem solving will be poor. All right, you guys, I have hope that we're going to learn so much this year. I love Advent because it's the Catholic New Year, so it feels like New Year's to me. And I have so much hope that the Lord is going to give us wisdom and we're going to grow in virtue as we strive to become saints. Thank you so much for listening and have a blessed day. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Catholic Mom Mindset. To learn more about growing closer to the Holy Spirit, check out our free resources at madeforgreatness.co. Thank you so much for listening and have a blessed day.